Everybody, at some point in their lives, will need to translate a function onto a graph. Whether this is in a math class, a physics class, a science class, or just in your daily life in general. As somebody that has always been in advanced math classes and taken many college-level math classes within high school, such as AP Calculus and Statistics, I consider myself very reliable when it comes to giving advice on mathematic-related topics, especially one as simple as this. Graphs are important because they allow us to see a visual representation between the correlation of two variables. In this speech, I will be discussing and explaining what functions are, how to transfer a function onto a two-dimensional graph, and why it is important to understand and analyze graphs and their meaning. Let's begin with what functions actually are. Britannica does an amazing job describing functions in their article, Functions in Mathematics. They state, functions in mathematics is an expression, a rule, or a law that defines a relationship between one variable and another. These two variables are the independent variable and the dependent variable. A function has three parts: a set of inputs, a set of outputs, and a rule that relates the two. Many widely used mathematical equations are functions. Examples of these include the formula for an area of a circle, the formula for an area of a triangle, any polynomial function, and many more. Now that you know what functions are, we can now learn how to graph them. There are multiple different types of functions that can be graphed. Functions may be written in several forms, anything from slope-intercept form to general form to horizontal line form and vertical line form. For the sake of time, I will only be describing the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is written as y equals mx plus b. These three parts each represent something different. To keep it simple, you will only need to know the m and the b. The m is the slope, which is the rise over run. B is the y-intercept, also known as where the line passes through the y-axis.
In this equation, in y equals mx plus b form, m, the slope, is 2, and the y-intercept, b, is 3. Meaning, it'll cross the y-axis, which is the vertical line, at 3, and then it has a slope of 2 over 1, so up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Put a line through the points, and there is your function on the graph.
It is important to remember that this is only how to graph functions that are in y equals mx plus b form. You may be wondering, why is any of this important? West Texas A&M states in their article called Graphs of Functions, graphs are important in giving a visual representation of the correlation between two variables. Now, whether these variables have to do with time, money, speed, acceleration, or a plethora of other things, graphs will always have an important meaning and can provide important information regarding certain topics. As for analyzing graphs, you will come into contact with plenty of graphs throughout your life. This could be in work, school, your job, etc. Either way, being able to understand what the graph is saying is very important. There are also many jobs that may require an understanding of functions and their graphs. Some of these jobs include data analysts, engineers, physicists, mathematicians, and plenty others. Functions and their graphs are relatively simple, and everybody should have an understanding of them. In summary, I have covered what functions are, how to graph a function, and why it is important to be able to understand functions and what they mean. Understanding functions with graphs has many benefits to understanding certain things. With all of this information in mind, I hope you gain knowledge that you may not have had before. Hopefully this is something that can help you in the future and can benefit you in your future experiences. Thank you.
Jay Clayton.
Good job, Ethan.
Senior.